Hi Mama, I'm Katie. Welcome to this developmental video. We're going to talk about what is happening to baby and what is happening to Mama in the 31st week of pregnancy. So we will start with our babies. The baby is around 42 centimeters long and weighs around 1.5, 1.6 kilograms. So if you compare it to a fruit or vegetable, it is the size of a coconut. Wasn't able to find a coconut, but you can imagine the size of a coconut, quite large. So what is happening to our baby coconuts? There's a rapid brain growth and development. Grooves and folds are developing in the brain, so it's not a kind of clear surface right now. You're getting all those grooves and folds developing, which means the brain size and capacity is increasing for brain cells to keep developing. This is also connected to the development of the five senses. The baby already has all five senses quite nicely developed, apart from the sense of smell, because they can't really use their nose, they're not breathing right now. But the other senses, like the eyesight, that is being developed. Baby can open and close their eyes now and might react to changes in light. So if it's dark and you shine a torch, they might move and react to that light that they see. Sound, their sense of hearing is really well developed. They are able to recognize your voice, maybe daddy's voice, other sounds that happen around them relatively often. They will be able to already recognize them. So this is super nice and super important also after giving birth, when the baby comes into this world, to talk to your baby, because your baby will recognize your voice immediately and will know that it is you or your partner. If you are not able for whatever reason to be there in the first minutes or hours after giving birth, then engage your partner to talk to baby, because if they were around you throughout all these weeks of pregnancy and they have been talking to you, maybe also talking to baby, baby will be recognizing their voice as well. And that will be able to calm them down in this new crazy world that they will enter. The sense of taste, so this one is my favorite, honestly. It is because baby is swallowing / breathing in and swallowing the amniotic fluid that they're swimming in, so they're able to recognize now different tastes, like the sour taste or bitter taste or sweet taste. So do eat a variety of foods and expose your baby to different tastes already in the womb. They can also, of course, touch. So because they're moving, they're feeling things that are around them. They might be able to grab onto the umbilical cord. They might be touching the sides of the womb. So the sense of touch is quite nicely developed as well. And you will be feeling the baby move more and more, because there will be less and less space. So the movements that baby is making will be stronger and you'll feel them more. And that is for two reasons. The first one, that they are getting stronger. They have already been practicing all these movements. They're building more muscle as they are practicing. And B, there is less and less space in the belly and in the womb, so you will feel those kicks and stretches harder and stronger. A last interesting thing that is happening in the third trimester and in these final weeks leading up to birth is that the baby is gaining fat. So a nice layer of fat is being gained under their skin, so they're going to be less wrinkly, and that will keep them warmer when they enter this world. So that is all for baby. Let's move on to us mamas. So we are in the third trimester. You might be feeling more tired again. You can compare it a little bit to maybe the first trimester. That is because of all the weight gain, all the extra blood, all the extra fluids and water retention that our body is going through. So what do you do when you feel fatigue? Try to get as much rest as possible. A lot of sleep at night is super, super important. As well as if you can allow yourself to have a little break and nap during the day and your body is asking for it, do that. That will be great and beneficial for you as well as for baby. And apart from sleeping and resting, drink a lot of water. You might be feeling more and more Braxton Hicks. So these are these contractions, which are practice contractions in the lower belly mostly. Some people compare it to period pains. In the first pregnancy, I didn't quite understand that it was a practice contraction, and I was explaining it that the little one was having a party in my belly, so it felt quite tense indeed. But I thought she at that point in time was just kind of doing a little dance with her hands down here, but essentially that was a practice contraction. You could be experiencing shortness of breath as well as the need to go to the toilet more often, also at night, which also disrupts the sleep. So therefore rest is so important if you can catch up at any other point in the day. And that is because the uterus is growing, the baby's growing, it's pushing upwards and downwards, so putting more pressure on the lungs, diaphragm, as well as the bladder. Swelling is another symptom that you might be experiencing. This is something I have. So my watch is getting more and more tight on my wrist. Before pregnancy it was moving around up and down, and now it's really tight and I might be forced to take it off in the next weeks. I'm not wearing rings since probably 10 weeks already, maybe 8, maybe 10 weeks. So my fingers are swollen, my hands are swollen, my whole body is retaining some water and swelling a little bit. And also the legs and the feet are swelling, so for that it is recommended to wear compression socks or stockings. And when I do that, the swelling is definitely less. There's less swelling. So that is advised if you also feel a bit swollen, at least to help your legs. Let's talk about when you might be concerned. So if you're feeling and experiencing all these things that I've been just describing, that's completely normal. However, if suddenly you have severe swelling in your hands or in your face, please call a doctor. If you have severe headaches or something is happening to your vision or dizziness, and you don't sit down, rest, and have a glass of water, and this continues, that's another sign to reach out to a doctor just to check that everything is for sure fine. Vaginal bleeding is not normal. To have a little bit of blood cells, that happens sometimes, but to have a bit more bleeding is not good anymore, as well as if you have a gush of fluid coming out of your vagina, please contact a doctor. These may be signs of early labor. Also, obviously, if you have regular strong contractions that are painful, this could also be a sign of early labor. And another sign to be concerned and to check with your doctor is if you have decreased fetal movement or you can't feel your baby move at all. So some people count the amount of kicks and pushes that they feel in the third trimester, and if this decreases significantly, they get worried and call a doctor. To be on the safe side, you can definitely do the counts. I know that this would just stress me out, so I don't count, but more or less I'm aware that baby keeps moving from time to time, so that is normal. That is it from me for week 31. Join me in the next days and weeks for further stretching routines and strengthening routines, prenatal workouts. In the third trimester, we're going to be focusing a bit more on kind of preparing for birth, breathing, connecting to the baby. So I hope to see you in the next videos. Thank you for joining today. Bye.